Okay, it's TSP 15. Two of the three parts of this will be pretty quick. The slightly longer part is melodic dictation number 1. The actual dictation work, of course, is very familiar by now. You know how to do that. You'll start by checking your work. When you check your work, so let's go to the melody player and load up TSP 14 melody number 1. When you check your work on here, a couple things to point out. The first thing to point out is that notice that the beaming is not necessarily the modern beaming that we're kind of encouraging in 4/8, which is to beam, especially when it's more than just 2/16, is to beam each beat separately. So in other words, like this, look at this last bar where you have the re mi fa sol sol do. There definitely should be a broken beam here. The melody player doesn't do that right. The rhythm generator actually does, I believe, should always do that correctly. It doesn't in the melody player. We just haven't fixed it to be quite as fancy as the rhythm generator. So be aware of that when you're checking your work. Otherwise, the rest of the notation should be fine. As always, make sure that your solfege is also correct for it. You can check your rhythm tracking if you need to, or just look at the rhythm on the notated version. The other thing is that when you load, I need to check the code, 2084. When you have the second melody, this is notated in 4/4, and we asked you on the last TSP, on TSP 14, to notate one of these in 4/2. In order to change the meter for this, you need to go up to this equivalent meter menu. Click there, and then you can either have or double the duration. So to go to 4/2, if we click double durations, which no longer fits on the screen, I'll click fit to screen. Now we can see what it looks like in 4/2 with the exact same melody, or you can always have the durations. If you worked on one in 4/8, it would look like this. You can keep going if you want. If you happen to work on it in 4/16 or 4 whatever, it does go for a while. So at any rate, that's how to convert the meters between equivalent meters in the melody player. Let's go ahead and then move on to step 2. Task 2 is rhythm dictation in equivalent meters. We took one TSP off in TSP 14. We're back to this now. All we're doing that's different on this particular TSP is that it specifies the exact meters that you should be notating them in. So in other words, 4/4 and 4/2, 4/4 and 4/8, 3/4, 3/2, 3/2. You can read that part yourself. So just working in all of the meters that are relevant for our quiz. In other words, that's task 2. Task 3 is a bit more of a fun practice. In other words, we've done some two-part meter things, some two-part rhythm things in class. Now we're going to work with two-part rhythms in the rhythm generator for reading purposes. So I'm going to turn the hider off. Actually, I'll just put it on reading mode. That would have made more sense. Make sure you switch to two-part rhythms, that you have the settings you want. I've got those turned up too much. I'm going to switch those back to the default likelihood. I'm going to put myself in, let's go with 4/8. Put it on equivalent meter in case I want to change back and forth between things. And then I can make, say, a 4-bar exercise in 4/8. It looks like this. I'm going to have to use fit to screen. And, one thing that's kind of nice actually about 4/8 is because of everything being beamed like this, it's relatively easy to see how things fit together in terms of where the pulse is. If I'm going to work on this, I don't think I will try demonstrating this right now on this recording. That's not because I can't do it. It's just because, you know how it works. Anyway, that's the third task of TSP 15, and so that's it for this quarter. We are done with TSPs once you have done those 3 things. Do bear in mind that there is a transcription practice page. That's probably the one thing that will definitely need continued practice as we get closer to the quiz. In other words, once we get past Thanksgiving and you're preparing for the quiz when you come back, make sure you make use of this page. There are some examples here already. We will also put on the examples that we use in class at the bottom of this page. I'll start updating that this week. And so, plenty of practice that you can do with repertoire transcription. Okay, that is it for TSP 15. We'll be back with these videos next quarter.